And welcome back, folks, to more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. Last time we played, we were on the final day of the final trial. We'll see how it goes. And, oh, by the way, I've added a noise suppressor on OBS. I don't know how good it's going to be. I tried it out. It looked okay, but if it sounds too weird, we'll take it off halfway. Maybe sooner than later, but hopefully it'll be all okay. So the defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office, yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things. Even though he doesn't know what's going on himself, and that's supposed to be an admirable trait. Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Lucky, have you ever been on top of things? No, absolutely not. Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day on the stand. Every day is like walking on thin ice. Every day. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Oh boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Well, the witness, please state his name and occupation. Yes, sir, I'm Officer Mike Meekins. Mike Meekins. My occupation is, well, that would be murderer, sir. So you're telling us you're a professional killer. How wild was my week? Not so wild. Allergy season started, and it's been hell so far. Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You gotta believe me, sir. Actually, what we'd like to hear from you... Sir, I'm what you would call part of a younger generation, sir. A person whose action adults can't possibly comprehend. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Please help me, sir. Officer Meekins. Yes, sir. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that in order. Yeah, it's not Mike. He would never say he committed a crime or murder. He would never say. Yes, sir, as you wish. After all, I'm part of the generation that must be told what to do, sir. Oh, he's a millennial? Millennial. You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life, and then I did it. After that, I passed out. until another officer smacked me awake. So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you. Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir. I see, then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir, he knocked me upside the head, sir. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. Okay. Cow. What I need here is more info to work with. I know you're supposed to say Cao, but it will be forever cow to me. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Yikes, now that's a scary thought. Evidence transferal was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir. The Blue Badger? Yes, sir, the lovely police mascot created by the Chief of Detectives, sir. I was to ensure that it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. I see, it sounds like a very important mission. After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one here around my neck. So then your ID number should be listed here, right? There it is! I found it! It's the one right here. Could you please read us the number? Yes, sir. It's 4989596. That's my number, sir. I see, but the number 4989596 is shown being used twice. Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger in the evidence room. The second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down. I see, so it was during that second time, then. Yes, sir, that's when I spotted the man on the security screen. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? Oh, hey there, Yashibe. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. It was a knife, sir. A knife! Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you. What happened then? Lucky, when did you enter the crime scene? What crime scene? I was never there. I didn't see nothing. Ooh, what? Huh? Crime? What crime? Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. Oh, thank you, Rest. Thank you very much. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. How would you feel about continuing Hal? I mean, if you think there's 2 hours of it, yeah, I don't really care. That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be... When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. I fought for my life, and then I did it. What exactly do you mean when you say I did it? Look, I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife? I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. I see. He must have been desperate. Desperate. The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and then the next thing I knew... Yeah? He punched me right in my face, sir! After that, I passed out, until another officer smacked me awake. At what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Oh, right. According to the report from the police, from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30. He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain. That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is. When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission. Your mission? Yes, sir. The Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Well, we can all rest easy now. I believe we have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? Got a point. Yes, Officer Meekins? In regards to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning. The chief delivered it? What is that? A videotape? Yes, sir, that's absolutely right, sir, a videotape. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room. Objection! What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape. And I was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. That's the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? I mean... Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire Criminal Affairs Department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir. Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Oh, that's not me. Yes, well, anyway. This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter, someone. That's not me! Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir, as you wish, sir. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker, equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to be Detective Goodman. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions, and that's where I have to start. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with the knife? Sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe I would be classified as the latter. The latter, but you were standing right in front of him, were you not? More to the point, you are the person who fought him, aren't you? Oh yes, sir, but I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking to them, you see. Oh yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer. No, I'm sure it was him. I would bet my badge on it. But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face. Lucky, why don't you look directly at chat when you talk to us? I'm very shy, that's why. Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it. Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it. Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing or... Meekins. Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now, please be more certain when you testify. Yes, sir. You claim the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you are positive it was him. About those lockers, is there no other way to open them? No, sir. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir. I wonder what kind of methods he's tried. If the man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints, then he must be the person the locker was assigned to. Exactly my point, sir, in this too. How do you know that information? I've heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir. People in the know? The workers in the department cafeteria, sir, they keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir. Oh, hey there, Buckeye. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source. So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint. Oh, we don't know that. It must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. However, the most important detail is not shown in the video, the man's face. How is rise from the ashes so far? What now? Sir? If I may say something, sir. Please do, after all, you are the only one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir. Yes, you have a point. The footage don't lie. That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it. Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. Is there a problem with the security video? There's a problem. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there is one thing in particular that seemed kind of strange. This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman. What? This video contains such a contradiction? Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. He would want me to point it out. Very well, proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us the contradiction you speak of. I have to point out a problem in the video? It's the first time I've ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. How did this guy ever become a police officer? Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the man may not have been Detective Goodman? Right here. Whoa. The paper. Oh, no, 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 I didn't. No, that's the wrong button. Every time you point your finger, someone gets hurt. It's right here. This thing.
Take that!
The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Ah, yes, that is strange. Something certainly seems unnatural about that. What could it mean? Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Wright, but you seem to have forgotten the point of this exercise. Point? The thing you are looking for is one thing and one thing only. Something that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman. Oh, yeah. Oh. I almost walked right into the defense trap. I'll place him under arrest, sir. Rats, I need to slow down and tackle these things one at a time. I was one step ahead. Well, he probably has gloves. Something like that, right? It's something more stupid than that. Isn't it? I mean, it's gloves. The chest? What about the chest? Is it not the gloves? He doesn't bench press. How weak. When does he open it? $5.14.
Take that!
The thing that's strange about this video would have to be this. No, it's not that. Is it not the gloves? Are we in the second game? No, we're still in the first game. Yeah, it's still the bonus case. I'm gonna do the gloves.
Take that!
It's not the gloves? No, we tried the thing that falls out the locker. What indicates that it's not him? That's a very obvious trait with Detective Goodman. Is this?
Take that!
It's not the tie. I checked, it's dumb. Everyone keeps saying that! Like you think dumb. What happens during the process of unlocking? The paper falls out. We already did the paper. It didn't work. Think dumber. What do you need to unlock a lock? A key? The light?
Take that!
Officer Meekins. Sir. Do you mean me, sir? As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match, the light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. Lucky, just look it up and pretend you found out yourself like Pirate Software. I'm not gonna drag another streamer. I think he can do it well enough on his own. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture, because it was already on. Drama Friday. Hell yeah. Imagine the views. Imagine getting caught looking up stuff on stream. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's when you play it off as if you did it without looking it up. Notice the light? What's this? It's already lit! Like us. Like this party. It's already lit. Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Party's lit too. Order! Order! What is the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know. It must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. It's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Oh well, it just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. That's right. Any novices out there in chat, you better stay quiet. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor? Yes, why wasn't the locker locked? Me, Your Honor? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Well, maybe something like jam the system sensor? Something jam the sensor, say. There's something else that seems out of place in this video. I thought so too. There's got to be another clue somewhere in this footage. Very well. Let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked because of this? Oh, it's a glove. I thought it was a paper. Good thing I looked it up.
Take that!
Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Oh, no music. Do 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 do. No, that's not the song. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. I often fall out and roll great distances when I open my car door. Now, we can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with. What was that tune? I'm a little teapot, short and stout. This is my handle, this is my spout. The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. If something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door, inserted? Do you guys ever insert yourself between a locker and a door? A locker and a sensor? This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand now. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Beacons. Ow. Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me? Hell yeah. But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit the door. Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator. Yes, an insulator. But at the crime scene, there just might have been something that fits the description. I think I finally got this figured out. Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator? Well, it might be this rubber glove. I found this near the locker, a thin rubber glove. But we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker. It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened the locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins? Sir, it would appear, sir. It would appear so, sir. Order! 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 So are we to believe then that the victim who this witness stabbed in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman? Do not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this. Testify? Me, Your Honor? Me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke? Very well, begin your testimony. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. An ID card record, I see. I got your ID card record right here, Your Honor. Whips it out. The ID used at 5:14 is that of the victim. Just before the crime, huh? Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most of them were cleared up by noon. Right, I see. Let us move on to the cross-examination. That's awfully specific to dedicate a room to. Well, I got a room for specific crimes. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. So unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid. Do you? Yes, sir. Solid as stone, sir. If my hand wasn't wrapped in bandages, I'd even give the V for victory sign, sir. Can he just use the right hand? Let's hear about fully. As we've seen, one never knows what he might say until the very last second. To enter the evidence room, one must use an ID card. I mean, that's the easiest thing. Like, anyone can use an ID card. It's not a retina scanner, you know? Is that card hanging from your neck one of the ID cards? Yes, sir. This card right here next to my cuffs. I keep it here so I don't ever forget it. I got that too, but it's my name tag, so I don't forget my name. But what if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out in the open like that? Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck when I get out of my car? Well, the remaining time, it's my ID card that gets stuck. What does it say? Oh, the name tag? It's Jean-Jacques François II. Maybe I should just leave this one alone. At any rate, each police officer has only one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this. Please proceed with your testimony. Testify! When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. Let it be noted that this is the record the witness referred to. Let me see. Yes, that would be it. Detective Goodman. What's the matter? According to this, Mr. Edgeworth, your name is on here. So it is, Your Honor. What the hell? Not that prosecutor again. Maybe he's behind all of this. Could a prosecutor... Being a prosecutor, he could hide the evidence. Mommy, is that man in blue the murderer? Don't stare at him. You got the wrong color, kid. The inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today. I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. Now, let us continue with the cross-examination. Poor Mr. Edgeworth, it must be so difficult for him. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. You mean this card? Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you. Yes, sir, he didn't show me any ID card. Don't you think that's a little odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. Yeah, that is odd. Maybe he just panicked? Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out. Mr. Wright, what do you think? I'm confused. What? The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this. Thinking too hard about it. Let's show them what we got. I don't know. Better save, just to be sure. Well, this was found at the other crime scene.
Objection!
Wait 1 moment, Officer Meekins. I'm not gonna waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense? When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding to the victim's ID card. A lost item report. It's only half completed. But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, right? Can't say for sure, but there's a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Yeah, but that still doesn't work, though. Order. Now what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Oh, hey there, Kaladin. How was the stream? What were you streaming today? Order. Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo. Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. Captain of Industry. Ooh. Is that any good? Is it a good game? There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is fake, then the murder at the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is... Well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago, you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. It takes an eternity to play unless you go fast and sloppy. Oh. This isn't gonna end well. Well, it seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. Lucky, do you like to go fast and sloppy? Well, that's my MO. So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot. At the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. Ah! I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something or else, Lana. What do? How am I supposed to get out of this mess?
Objection!
One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. I mean, the thing is, why was he dressed as Bruce Goodman? However, it cannot be said that it was unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean? Your Honor? The defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh? Whom do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name. Before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify. What is his or her name? Well, that would be Jake Marshall, of course. Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel like we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a 30 minutes recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please? Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? Sub-peanut. Oh, okay. We will, Your Honor. Court is now in recess. Dun dun. Now, I've never watched Law & Order. I was more of a CSI Miami guy. No, that's not true. I didn't watch that either. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured everything out. Huh? Haven't figured anything out. Lana, you're the one who knows everything. Emma, you always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, I guess I am. I'll come back later. Oh, this guy's a voice actor. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, Detective. You better be, pal. Hey, 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 hey! I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky. That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked? Oh, oh, you mean this? My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name? Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Can I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL9 incident. Oh, Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them. I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case. This guy was a witness? Files for the Joe Dark killings. Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders. Oh, what? Now that I brought you your stuff, you're gonna ignore me? Emma? But why? Why is your name here? What? My name's in here? I don't know, unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, this SL9 incident, is that... That is the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as... the Joe Dark killings. The Joe Dark? No, no, Lana! That's over with, no! Emma, wait! She ran away. You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Nick Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. My name is Joe Darke. Knowing you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. You just handed me like 400 pages and I got like 10 minutes to check this out. I better take a look at this file. To be continued. Brock, is this true? The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Sir, you can drink on the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man. Same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know. You're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? The desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English. My job was to keep a wary eye on that Bowen orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at the street side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, and you're out of ammo. So if you're out of ammo, it's time that I hit the trail. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean, the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers? Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? He's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. Okay, give me a second. I gotta blow my nose. I gotta blow this case wide open. My job was to keep a weary eye on that bone orchard. You got your bone orchard right here. How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room? I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room is so still, even time dies in there. I was just a caretaker who interred the recordings. You interred them? Videos are nothing. Aren't that useful. When the time would come, I'd erase the tape. If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes are to be erased every 6 hours. Can we get a yee howdy, boys? No. Each time I'd erase the tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life. Damn. I feel the same way when I have to erase VODs. No, I don't actually. This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. In actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room. Yeah, well, I mean, VODs are pretty big. Did you know that the VOD for Hotline Miami was 32 gigabytes? That was 60 times bigger than the game itself. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Compress it harder? How about I compress you harder? I wouldn't even know how to do that. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Ain't you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style. I'm afraid I don't understand. No desperado I know lets rules get into his way. That's true. Am I a desperado? Because there's no rules here. No rules in the chat. Maybe you are all desperados. Should I call chat desperados now? What's up, fellow desperados? No desperados I know would join the police force. No Officer Marshall on the day of the crime. Just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner. I can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. How does this guy avoid being fired? Oh, okay. Achoo! You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct? Of course, back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence. And yet you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism? Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how the bike works. It's quite incredible. The sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of the presence. Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too. At any rate, it doesn't seem like this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place? If I remember right, I was at a street side saloon and at the time it went down. What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghettis. Not even Angel Steak lunches can beat that parlor's Vongole sepia pasta. Do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? Not at all, not at all. Not all desperados eat tacos, partner. That's not what I meant. I hope this has taught you at least a lesson. That's strange. This is usually where Edgeworth says, "Did you not want a raise this year?" I'm just an innocent traveling man. So if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Out of ammo, Officer Marshall? That's right, partner. Or as you would call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me for this crime, you better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back west onto the sunset. One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness does not appear to have seen anything. Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Apparently your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I best keep my cool. Do I enjoy Western movies? I don't think I've watched many Western movies. Back to the Future 3, a Western movie? Okay. Oh, it's Mike! Hey, Mike, how you doing? Oh, yeah. Is that his brother? Well, someone entered at 420. I'm an innocent traveling man. Maybe we show the files? Oh, I better save, just in case. No. Show that he doesn't travel. Oh yeah, what, didn't he have the fingerprints?
Objection!
Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime, and yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. Quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene, or to be exact, a handprint. Huh. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects. That is, I make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Oh shit, I was shitposting. I wasn't even paying attention, and yet you found it. Witness, what is the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene? The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall, it seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Mr. Marshall? About the blood-stained fingerprints? Yeah, very well. You may begin your testimony about your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as this blood-stained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. Oh, he's good. He's real good. The witness's explanation appears valid, although there is room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The evidence may now cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something, I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. That's because you, how did you put it, pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. What do you mean? I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now is just a heap of broken dreams. Let's see. It would be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently, his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. Lucky, where do you store your broken dreams? Oh, that would be Vaughn 368. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. So then what about the bloody handprint? Was it mine? It's no mystery. Please explain. My locker is covered with my fingerprints. Just so happened. The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1. On the contrary, one could argue the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Damn, he's got us there. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward for me with a mere fingerprint. Now wanna know why? Because the bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Unrelated? They're as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast, while the other's a type of murder. He's right. Although seemingly alike, they're totally different. I don't see what homonyms have to do with this. Oh, didn't you know that the murderer was wearing gloves? How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a bloodstain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? This seal of blood in the desert, it's just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this. The security tape. So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Too bad it wasn't me in that video, right, partner? What do you mean by that? Do you want to tie me to this crime? Isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. That video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. If someone was familiar with that camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Because they showed it at the start when we were doing the other thing, the glove thing. It's at the end of the video. As I'm looking through game facts. I just found it. I mean, not looking at game facts. I came up with this one, guys. So notice this locker right here. What's this?
Take that!
Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Would you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. That locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was what the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Oh, the white cloth. It's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared, and there's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Order! Order! It would seem... Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was opened? Doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened the locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why's everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? Guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah? I'll call your bluff. Say I opened the locker, now prove it.
Take that!
Oh, fingerprint sensor. We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't even know about the fingerprint locks. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? I only got 1 word for you, partner. No! Order, order, order. Witness, explain yourself. This is a joke. That's the worst I've ever heard. I assure you, this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. A jerky. Olay, please answer the question. What is he now, a bullfighter? That's all right, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. We can? Have a look at these floor plans. There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. If that's so, then where was the witness? It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. The only possible conclusion. Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime? Well, he was this guy. He was the killer? I thought that was Meekins. No, he was the V. Officer Marshall was standing right here. There, but that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in this video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman. That's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his ID card, sir. And how did the detective respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why wouldn't he just show it? Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Oh, I get it. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man isn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? You've got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it. You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective, unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat. This can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do? It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside the box. Phoenix, try murder. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. Rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later as it has been. which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the scene of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside. What exactly is this piece of cloth? Perhaps the video. We always go back to the video. Let's look at the tape. Well, it's because of the blood. That's what GameFAQs was telling me. I'm just gonna let it run a bit for you guys. Okay. You can present it. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pull a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and with the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood, a bloody white coat. You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner. Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago. If you were only half as persistent then as you were today, we all wouldn't have to be here now wouldn't we? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did, all of it. All right. It seems the time has come. Marshall's confession. But first, I can't save. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed up like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins, so I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas I wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. But the supposed victim was really you. But there was one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. I guess he's the donor. It was way too much blood for such a small donation. Let what die? What was dying that day? When you say it, you mean SL9. Do you even have to ask, partner? The SL9 incident. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day. Now that I know that the sheriff is built, who thought I would ever confess to a murder? That's what we were talking about. You would not. You would never. Not that I have anything to do with it. That incident is not over. What did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? That day was my last chance. That's why I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like it was Goodman carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card? I stole that the morning of the incident. So that really was why Goodman started filing out that lost item report. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean, the fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself. But he could have, because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins, so I knocked him out. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off? Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a 1 in a million type of person. Mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID. I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year. When did Edgeworth get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way. With me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? I don't know what to say. So you knocked out Officer Meekins, and... So you did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone to plan, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in the struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is, during that day, there wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker. Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. What? Mr. Edgeworth, where is the evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence? Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. You're not really, no. You're on the stand, buddy. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer? This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. Is it because his brother was a victim? And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. That case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room. Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is that he deserved his sentence. I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it? I don't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something that went down in that trial. Something no one will talk about. What happened? No, that's what I'm trying to find out. I'm losing my voice. Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is. I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related in some way to that case. I better have a look at the files. We know why. We know why.
Objection!
Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. I have the SL9 incident file here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. And a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall. Yeah. I'm sure you heard that name. A few years ago. He received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. What? A prosecutor? You must be talking about the King of Prosecutors award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands. What's his relation to you? He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, the then Deputy Chief of Police. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That's all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least, according to public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, the mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happened by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance. Gotta be more than that. So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one. Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye. Wait! A verdict wasn't even reached in yesterday's trial. Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. Seems to me this boy's got the draw on you, partner. All of the mysteries of the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Star is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. I rest my case. He bowed. Seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty. Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant. Hold it. What? Your Honor, wait! Emma? The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right? What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright? Are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor? In a sense. Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. 3 minutes? I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings? Now that she mentions it, the names of both Skye sisters were in that file. But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprints had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing, the other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker? But no fingerprints were found on it, right? No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'm sure I'd find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again. And did you find something? No. Huh? Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. Is that all? Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. And I'm just an attorney. Lucky, when are you going to start streaming scientifically? Isn't this science? Aren't you learning right now? But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Hey. Oh boy. Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident in the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will... Answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor. If I ever needed to concentrate is now. I think I know what it is. There be something I'm missing. Yes. It's on the tape. This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. The only thing that seems clear is that you're grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something's missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn there? Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Well, Mr. Wright, with all this evidence here, gotta be something I can use. Which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans? The badge? Is it the badge? I'm thinking it's this. What about that piece of plywood? Blue Badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Lucky, are you ready for Badgel-thon? Yeah, definitely. I've got all my badges ready. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not there, so watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the scene of the crime. Well, what? Oh, that's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing there, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker. What? But that means, what exactly does that mean? It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker. Oh, look at me. I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Emma, on that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? Put it down. After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in. Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. It may sound far-fetched, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice. What? How? One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. Problem is, the other time. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. What?
Objection!
That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim.
Objection!
The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident occur? To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. That's right, the blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well, then tell us. When did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented. That's right, Deb. The ID card. There's only one piece of evidence. Will the defense please present its evidence? At 4:20, blazing it. If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have entered it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required. An ID card? Oh! The ID card record! Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at 4:40. 4:50. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. Ah! Miles Edgeworth? Just what have you done? Never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear from the luminol tests that the blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. It would have just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. That would mean crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Let's look at the chart again. I mean, 20 minutes is 20 minutes. The only one card number remaining is a lot of sevens. Talk about a lucky number. It wasn't me, guys. I swear. Okay, I have an alibi, guys. It wasn't me. Talk about a lucky number. Oh, wait. That doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with a lot of sevens. "20 minutes is how much Lucky is late to the stream on average. It's a lot of time." You know, guys, you should stop like looking for evidence and all. You know, like, it's not really that important. Like, it's fine. Just, you know, sweep it under the rug, really, is what I'm trying to say. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 777777777. That's 1 7 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I am unable to look up the owner of that ID card, at least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number of lots of sevens belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. But that's ridiculous. Just how? I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There's one situation which we can be granted such authority. If an official charge is filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge? You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries? That's how the prosecutor's office operates. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question. Yeah? No, not to you. To her. To the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. But Lana? Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course we looked up her ID number. And it's not a lot of sevens. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I wanted to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. The SL9 incident. Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? You need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did. Lana? I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Oppressed and suppressed? Defendant, what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago... Wait, where is she sitting? Did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look at me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't. I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. Well, Lana, even if it involved forging evidence, what the hell? See, that's what I'm talking about. No. No! Order, 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 order! Lana's remarks caused such a stir. We had to wait until the following day. 4 days? What the hell? All right, well, I guess that'll be it for Ace Attorney for today. God damn, this one's so long. That was crazy. Anyhow, well, we don't have another stream planned for today. Well, we do, but late at night. So I got a little something for you guys. We're going to check it out after the break, so stay tuned. A little something something. No, it's not horse. And it's not Hal's Hole-in-One Golf.